Here we come, walking down the street. We get the funniest looks from everyone we meet. Hey, we're the monkeys, and people say we monkey around.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Bump Monkey Mafia. I'm Frankie V, here with my co-host and broadcasting partner, as always, C-Rye the Good Guy.
What's up, guys?
Double T Turnbuckle Tim here as well.
And guys, we are joined today live here in Salina, Kansas, as we get ready for XWE
Haunted Havoc, man.
Jerry the Boss Bostic. How are you, Mr. Bostic?
I'm good. Thank you guys very much for having me.
Man, you know, Salina just seems like a nice town to hang out, party, and come to a good old wrestling show.
Good old-fashioned wrestling, man.
These people here are so ugly.
Tim's kind of ugly himself, but...
Well, I mean, none of us are really good looking, to be honest.
No, it really is a nice place, and we love coming down here every time we get a chance. Good people to work with, and, you know, they do a really good job of promoting their events as well.
Man, so, how'd you get in the business?
Oh, man. About 10 years ago, me and one of my best friends that he used to wrestle for IWR some. I don't know what he's doing now. He's like in a midlife crisis or something probably. He's kind of a loser. I'm just kidding. But we were always lifelong wrestling fans, and one day I was like, man, we should become wrestlers. And he's like, how? I was like, I don't know. Look it up on the internet. And, you know, this is like 10 years ago. So the internet definitely was as advanced as it is now. And we came across Al Farad, who at the time was working at – God, we just talked about they changed their name all the time.
Was it?
What was it back then?
It was AACW.
That's exactly what it was. AACW 10 years ago. Yeah, I mean, they changed.
It was a long time
ago. Yeah, it was a long time ago. And so Al actually trained us and Travis, and the rest was history. So that's how it started. And then, you know, I think the very first show we had was one of the most colossal disasters of any independent show. But you live and you learn. You know, there's lessons that you can learn every time that you promote a show if you really want to sit down and analyze like what you did right and what you did wrong. And in my infinite wisdom, I really thought just because we had all these people on this card that people were going to magically find out about it, but guess what? They didn't. So I think there was like 500 people at the show, and there should have been probably like 2,000 or 3,000. So wow. It is what it is, you know.
Now, you started IWR up in 2014?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, August of 2014, I believe.
Man, and the massive talent you've been able to bring in and just put on great shows. I mean, we were at Oaklamania, and it was by far better than any WWE show I'd been to.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Everything was on point. Everyone worked well together.
I enjoyed each match. Like, it was... You don't get that a whole lot.
Matches made sense.
Matches made sense.
Yeah, we wanted to get back to kind of like, you know, the more old school mentality of wrestling. Jim Ross actually is responsible for putting the matches together like he did and going over the psychology with each of the guys, him and Jim Cornette both. So, you know, when you have guys like that in your corner, you're doing something right. And, I mean, I don't know too many companies on our level within 2 years that have done anything like we've done, really, you know. I mean, I think Oaklamania goes up against any show like in the United States outside of WWE. I don't know that there's been a bigger show per se of talent-wise. And, you know, I feel blessed to be in the position we're in, man. There's, you know, when you're a kid, like you have this dream of growing up to be a wrestler, and you just don't envision like all the stuff that's been given to me, and for me to be able to give to my kid, you know, like to share it with the people I do. I mean, it's amazing.
I mean, alone just the fact that people were coming from other states for that.
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
You don't see that in Oklahoma at all.
Yeah, we had like some dude from like North Dakota or something. Like, man, are you bored? Like,
I doubt they get a whole lot of
hell of a drive.
You know, so yeah, we did have people from a lot of different states, and you know, like after the event was over or something, like on Facebook there was 85,000 people talking about it, and I'm like, what in the world?
It was trending on Twitter.
Yeah, and I'm like, what?
It was trending on Twiter a day before it even happened. The Sunday show even happened.
I think that sometimes you underestimate the things that you do in life, and I guess really, you know, like I knew it was a big deal, but to see the, you know, the reception that the fans gave and the reaction on like social media and stuff, it really blew me away. It's humbling, you know, because man, like I worked hard, you know, me and my staff, we worked very hard to put those shows together and to pull them off, outside of them both being very big shows and doing the first ever OklaCon as well, I don't know too many indie groups that would. I don't even really like the term indie groups, but I don't know too many wrestling companies, because that's what we are. We're a wrestling company. I don't know too many that would take on shows of that magnitude back-to-back days with the convention as well and be able to pull it off like we did. So, man, I was proud of everybody.
Now, we were down in a show down in Duncan.
Duncan, Oklahoma.
Duncan, Oklahoma,
Yeah.
about a month ago. Great show.
One where it poured.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, yeah. That was awful, wasn't it? That was awful.
I love the whole concept of you going to smaller towns with great talent, a great promotion that puts on a great wrestling show for people that don't get to see wrestling as much as what people in bigger cities do. And people, I mean, your talent's over. They love it. I mean, that crowd.
They were hot.
They were hot. Those crowds are hot. I mean, there's some redneck hillbillies, don't get me wrong. But they love wrestling just like we do.
They will come out for pro wrestling. That is for sure.
They will, and I think that's that's a large part of our business model. We do shows like Oklahomania, but we really enjoy doing the smaller shows as well because you're taking this product to people that don't get to see wrestling. You're taking something that's affordable for them to take their families to, because with the economy the way it is nowadays, with the prices being what they are, to like take people to the movies or just to go anywhere really, it's like you can't afford to take a full family to that stuff, and we try to make our tickets affordable to where they can. Like Duncan, we let kids in for free that were like 12 and under, and
he took his daughter.
Yeah.
She loved it.
That was her first show, man.
Really, that's awesome.
She enjoyed it.
Fantastic.
When are we going back?
She wants to go to every show now.
Awesome.
She dropped an FU in class one day.
Yeah.
So, I don't think that was definitely not from that show, but that was from a WWE spot probably. Either that or her dad's just a real asshole.
She used it right, though.
Combination of both, probably. But I mean, that's to hear stuff like that, though. I mean, like that really means a lot to me. That's one of my favorite things about what we do is just giving back to groups and children. Like, it means a lot to me to do that because, my kid's 10, and to share that stuff with him and to share it with other kids that age, they really like sometimes. You think of yourself as just like an independent wrestler or whatever, but to these kids, you're so much more than that. Yeah. And it's important to understand your role with them because they look up to you. And like, that's one thing about my group. Like, we are never distasteful towards people at these shows. Like, the guys sit out and meet whoever comes, shake their hands, take pictures with them. I mean, I even think that was evident at OklaCon, even whenever just the general atmosphere of bringing all these other people in. It was still such a positive atmosphere. All the people that came in from Sting, all the way to Cornette, Jeff Jarrett, whatever. I mean, took their time with everybody that came along, So, and that's probably one of the biggest compliments that I get from people is that, how good we are with people and the stuff we do. And I mean, I just feel like we're blessed every day that we get to do this. Like, who gets to live their dream? Not very many people, right? And so for us to be able to do that, and to be able to give back at the same time, like I'm turning around donating large sums of money to people whenever I'm going out doing what I've always wanted to do. You know what I say? So, like I feel very happy that we do that. And we have December, we have our 3rd annual Toys for Tots show coming up, and that's one of my favorite things every year because the children where I live in Ardmore in Carter County, Toys for Tots helps them out so much, and they still struggle to get all those kids toys for Christmas. And you think like, especially, like you having a daughter and stuff like that. Like, can you imagine if your kid didn't have presents for Christmas? For us to do that, we typically partner with Dot Foods, and we bring in, I don't know who we're going to bring in this year, Mickey James, Matt Hardy, somebody like that, and you get in for free. All you got to do is bring a toy,
Oh, yeah. And it's always for a good cause, and that's respectable. And that's one of those things that a lot of promoters in the state, I just don't like. You do a lot of this stuff to give back, and just a lot of these promoters in the state don't do it. But so I got to ask you, what would be your dream match? If you had a chance to wrestle.
Oh man, Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
I'd probably be smiling as he dropped the leg drop on me.
Yes, drop it.
People that work now, I don't know. Like, I'm usually the lowest on the totem pole whenever we bring people in to work with people. The only reason is because I like my guys do so much for me, and they help me out in so many ways. Like, I like to give that stuff to them. So usually whenever we bring in, the famous people or whatever, like it very rarely ever crosses my mind to wrestle any of them. Like, to me, that's a gift to my people that have been working hard and that deserve to be seen. And that's one of my favorite things about Oklahomania was, like Chris Cambridge, Coyote Joe, they got a chance to be seen by very important people in the industry on a big stage. And you know, Coyote, him and Chavo tore that match
they
down.
That was
They
a
did.
fantastic
It's very impressive.
match.
Great match.
You know, and I feel like a lot of talent on the I hate saying independent scene, a lot of talent on the wrestling scene is very underrated that just haven't had the opportunity to be seen by the right people. You know, and so I don't know how much better it gets to be seen by Jim Ross. You know, and Jeff Jarrett at the same time. So
Especially those guys. I mean, that's definitely awesome. And the talent, like I said, you have now is crazy good. I mean, the talent you bring up
Yeah.
from Texas, you know, following states, you see them and you're just like, hey, that guy could be in,
Dude.
you know, ROH.
I'll tell you what, like Andy Dalton, that dude
I like that
is
dude.
legit, man.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the best workers in the United States. And, geez, what show was that? I want to say it was When Worlds Collide when we were at Fire Lake in January. He went against James Storm, and that match, like, stole the show. That match
Yeah.
was so good. Yeah, and you know, Ricky Starks, too, my God. Ricky Starks, so talented.
That kid is talented.
He's got such a good look, you know. We started bringing Aaron Solo. I think he was in Duncan.
Yeah, he was down at Duncan. He opened the show when that.
Yeah. Aaron Solo, who was actually an alternate for the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah.
I heard about that after we went to the show.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Another superb talent. El Fuego del Sol. I mean, he needs to put on about 120 pounds so he doesn't, you know, so he can keep his pants up.
Look like a
but,
stick.
But super talented kid and such a good kid. And you know, that's one thing that I'm proud about all of these guys is that they're good people. Because, you know, even if you're a good wrestler, if you're a jackass, then, you know, that takes away from it, right? You should be more proud of the person you are than your wrestling abilities. You know?
Your women's division is also very, very well put. Was it Krista James we saw? Go against
Yeah,
her?
yeah. Yeah, and you know, Christy hasn't really been working very long, and man, she's so good. Has a great look. And Durant, we brought in Robin Reed, who was one of Booker T's main women down in Houston, and you know, we used Gail Kim, Velvet Sky. Let's see, we had Amber O'Neal Gallows at Oaklamania, and Mickey James. We use Mickey James all the time. I mean, we're very fortunate to do what we do, and we've been using Erica Torres a lot from Oklahoma. And such a good worker. She worked Robin Reed and Durant. Man, that match was really, really good. Erica's just one of those.
Every time I see her.
She's just one of those people that gets it, you know. And I don't know. I mean, me personally, I was never really a big fan of women's wrestling, and I mean, I'm just not. You know, like I like to keep it real. I wasn't. I used to not like it at all, but since they've got to the point where they actually are working now, you know, like I really enjoy it now because it's like. You know, like I watch it to see them work, and I think it's so good. And Erica's one of those. Erica's a worker, you know, very, very good.
Probably kick my ass.
It's very possible. Yeah, she's pretty intimidating when she puts on like that Star Wars Amidala lipstick. You know what I'm saying? Like, but hands down, the best female worker in Oklahoma, Erica Torres.
Well, man, we appreciate what you do for the state of Oklahoma, bringing in the talent.
Yes, sir.
Letting people like us who went to Oklahomania see people we never thought we'd see after they were long gone from wherever they wrestled. And everything you do for IWR to bring it into the state, bring the talent you do, and basically keeping Oklahoma wrestling alive.
Thank you. That means a lot. And, you know, like I said, it's a team effort. I definitely don't do it by myself. And, you know, all of our big productions, you know, the last couple anyways, I have to thank Jim Ross for that and Jim Cornette. He'll be staying on and producing all of our big shows, and we're really ready to see what 2017 has in store for us. You know, it's man, it's been a crazy 2 years. It really has, and
That's a good way to start.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, Oklahomania was when you have people coming from all over states, and when you're legit, like, at the Cox Convention Center, because I remember Jim Cornette, he had a podcast, maybe like about a month before, and he was talking about
yeah,
he was talking about in the old Mid-South days when they'd sell out that venue in like a couple days, and just like that Sunday just had a big fight atmosphere with it. So
yeah, you know, he actually said that was the most he's enjoyed managing in years. Like he loved working with Rowan Hansen, who they're such a good team, and you know, I think just the whole Matt Hardy confrontation part, you know, just the way the whole thing unfolded. I mean, it was just a really special night for wrestling fans, and and everybody I talked to had a good time, and that meant a lot to me. You know, I sat there and tried to shake as many hands as I could and tell people thank you for coming, and I really do appreciate it because, you know, when we started 2 years ago, we started with nothing. Like we had no money at all, and in 2 years we did that. You know, and that's because people's support and a lot of our partners that we work with, their support to be able to enable us to travel like we do, because I don't think there's any companies around that travel as frequently as we do.
I think everybody's pretty stationary.
Yeah, and we were too for the longest. Whenever we did wrestling, we were very stationary too. But at some point, especially when you start getting older in life, like me, I either want to succeed or fail. I don't want to be stationary in Ardmore for the next 40 years, drawing 50 people, having a gay old time, laughing about it. I want to succeed or fail. I want to know that I gave it everything I had, and we either came out or we didn't. But I threw it all on the table regardless.
So
you know what I
You're
mean?
doing a pretty damn good job of it.
Thank you.
Just keeping it going.
I appreciate that. That means a lot.
We appreciate having you on.
Thank you guys. Anytime.
You almost forgot our go-to question.
Oh, man.
Time for foreign objects.
Foreign objects.
All right.
So every guest we have on this podcast group, we ask them, if you could use a weapon, it can't be a chair, it can't be the conventional weapon. Any weapon you want. We've had someone say pickaxe. We've
Holy
had someone
crap.
want to use a broomstick.
Where are you finding these guys?
Oklahoma.
Outside Oklahoma City.
Oh, man. That's a good question. I don't know, honestly. I don't really have too many hardcore matches. I'm so pretty. I don't really like to do all that.
Nothing on his face, okay?
Don't miss the face.
I skipped the blading class. I don't do any of that. Like, if I bleed for real. But I have, for whatever reason, I have really bad luck with tables. I've had I've been sent to the hospital over a table. I got put through one last weekend and it didn't break right either. I thought, Jesus, what is wrong with these tables? I don't know. Non-conventional weapon. I don't know, man. It'd have to be something really hurt somebody, though.
Yeah.
Well, mine was like one of those big, 13-inch, rubber wieners.
And slap somebody across the face with it.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, that would be a good humiliation tactic. Yeah, I agree. That's a good answer. It's hard to top that one.
That'd be a non-family friendly show.
Yeah, that might be
got
one that
kids
has to be in a bar or something like that.
We went to this event. We saw a big old floppy wiener.
And then it got on top of that, you got to see somebody get smacked with it. Yeah.
That takes the cake, man.
That takes the cake.
Hands down.
Let's touch on tonight. You're going up against a young gentleman named Paradox for the United Liberty Championship. You gonna bring that back home to Oklahoma?
Well, I'm damn sure going to try. I mean, you have somebody that's been in the business 10 years against somebody that's been in the business 1 year. I mean, I only use 7 moves, but I use all 7 very well. Okay?
That's all you need.
That's all
Right?
you need, man.
That's all you
as long as
need.
you get that 3.
I mean, bottom line, I don't know how tall this guy is. He looks like he's 5'4". Looks like he weighs 140 pounds. And you put that against me, and it just doesn't measure up. You know what I mean?
It's a man versus a child.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to that's what I'm trying to explain to him. So I'm trying to explain to him is he's like a little boy, and it's like, go home to your parents. And then apparently, I cut a promo on him, and his parents got upset about that too. And it's like, well, why don't you just move back in with them if they're going to take care of you?
He's I secretly do live with them.
I really want to have I really wanted to turn into a Survivor Series style match tonight against me and just his whole family, and just slap his mom a couple of times and punch his dad in the face. And
Perfect weapon.
I just kind of wanted to just take it out on his whole family if they had a problem with it. And then his aunt was getting on there saying how distasteful it was, and even her 12-year-old was startled. Oh my God, people! My God, that's a reflection of today's society.
Great.
You got your feathers ruffled over a wrestling promo.
Wow.
I don't know if y'all saw the one I cut yesterday, but
So that guy's mean.
yeah, I know, right? It's funny though, because Jerry and the Boss are 2 totally separate people. The Boss, he's a bad motherfucker.
But Jerry's a nice guy.
Yeah, Jerry's a nice guy, but you don't want to mess with the Boss. He does whatever it takes, and he will tonight. And I heard that the family sits on the front row, so I'm gonna have some surprises for them too. I'm gonna take that little boy out there and beat his ass in front of him.
Oh, man.
Stuff, man.
Bring back that gold to Oklahoma. More the gold, the merrier down in OK.
Yeah, I told him I'll win it and I'll sleep with it.
I'll sleep with your mom.
I said that I would take his mom and his girlfriend home. I really don't see why they were so offended. No sense of humor these days.
There he is right over there. Just somebody gonna hit his dad with a floppy wiener.
Right? Yeah, that would have been the perfect time to break out the
him.
floppy wiener. Yeah, that's
Gonna get it.
Shake it at him.
that. Or if they're all sitting on the front row, you could just like go down the line with the floppy.
You could hit them all with it at the same
Yeah.
time.
It's like Three Stooge style.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
If that was an option, this might be a good night to try it. You know, there's no commission in Kansas like there is in Oklahoma.
Yes.
Unfortunately, though, this is a very family-friendly show, much like IWR. So,
Basically, you will not be sending you floppy wieners at any IWR show.
no, unfortunately not. But they had there was ECW. That would have been the perfect time to break that out. Not the real ECW, the Oklahoma City ECW. That one. That would have been a good time to break that out.
Good old Empire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We saw a wiener down on the south side of Oklahoma City.
Aren't they very hardcore? They used to be, anyways.
Yeah, they still have the
Yeah.
hardcore title.
They still push hardcore pretty heavy.
Yeah, Travis is a hardcore specialist. I
Yeah,
remember my
that's it,
first
man.
show that I had. He wrestled New Jack, and it was like a perennial bloodbath.
You were cleaning up that arena. He's like, "You want me to hit you with this wet floor slide?" I was like, "I'm good, man. I'm taking a chair shot from you, man. I put my time in there."
Hey, I don't know about that whole blood mess. If I'm bleeding, you're gonna make me bleed for real. I'm not cutting myself with anything, not doing any dumb shit. If you want to bring
foreheads like Abdullah the Butcher.
yeah, I don't want that. My face is so pretty,
Take one hit like Ric Flair and your head's just
right? You know it's bad when you tap your forehead and you start bleeding. That's something should tell you that you've done that one too many times. You know. Like I said, I'm not all for that hardcore stuff or whatever. I mean, if it came down to it, I mean, like Chris Cambridge, I really would like to get him in a hardcore match maybe and just beat his bald-headed ass. Like every time I see him, he just comes across as so arrogant and cocky.
Struck around by the beard.
If I didn't do that to him, I'd like to bend him on my knee and spank him something. Like he needs spankings. Look at him. He just needs spankings.
Cambridge.
He's a worthless champion.
Cambridge, come get your spankings.
Look at him. He's over there about to fall asleep. I'm telling you, he is the worst excuse for a champion I've ever seen. And he's had it for like 10 months, and he sucks at it. And the only thing that's going to save the IWR boys is when the boss comes back to get that title. Because I took care of that thing. I birthed it. I was the champion from birth, and then he took advantage of me hurting my elbow working out. And what's crazy is we were working out together like friends. And I was trying to lift the same weight he was, and I hurt my elbow. And the next thing you know, he's taking advantage of me and taking my championship. And then on top of that, he's done a shitty job since he's had it. So, he's going to get it. And it was a really awkward situation this weekend, too, because, coming to Salina, we come up here, and we get in our room, and there's only one bed, and we're like... Last weekend he threw me through a table. This weekend we're sleeping together. It's just crazy, boys, crazy.
Was there spooning?
No, there was no spooning. No.
Did you rub his head a couple times?
Well, maybe. I did actually stroke his beard this weekend. I see this guy all the time. And I wasn't aware of how impressive his beard has gotten. I thought for a second, man, your chin's not that fucking big. And sure enough, he's been working hard on that. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not even putting beard products in it. Yeah, but I think we really needed this weekend to kind of mend the fences, and sleeping in the same bed definitely helped.
Cuddles.
Yeah.
hug it out, guys.
Yeah.
Hug it out.
Always helps.
He has no rebuttal for you, so.
He never does. See, that's what I was talking about. Shitty champion.
This is my champion.
He just lets me verbally just smack the shit out of him, if you had that big rubber wiener, I'd like to slap him with it.
You just got verbally slapped by a rubber wiener.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
I don't even think he heard that one.
Oh man.
Chris, would you be okay if he slapped you in the face with a floppy wiener?
14-inch floppy wiener.
What did he say? He smiled about it. We can just assume what his response was. I think he liked that idea.
He's like, well, we're staying an extra night down here in Salina. We got to go to this shop that sells the 14.
Yeah, I was feeling kind of weird when I woke up today, and I did get pretty drunk last night. I hope he didn't do anything to me.
Your butt hurt?
Well, I don't want to go there, but
They're mad.
no, in all honesty, he's a pretty good guy, but I do like kicking his ass. You know, like it's always cool when you get to work your friends because you know you can be a little more free with them. And
Yeah.
you know, like last weekend we went out and we did this spot because we're trying to get him over as a heel, right? And I was like, just beat my ass, and boy did he beat my ass. He beat my ass so bad last week, like oh man, it was horrible. So I definitely got some paybacks for him. I just don't tell him about it though. You know, like some people like to plan out their matches and they like to call these spots. Like I don't call anything. I don't even like to talk about it until like 10 or 15 minutes before. I like
Those
to
are the best though. You just on the
I just like to do. I'm on the fly all the time. Like I like to feed off the fans, right? I think the fans tell you kind of like where you need to go.
Oh, yeah.
If you just listen to them.
Hey, we like to do that one more time chant.
Dude, I know there's people in Oklahoma that hate us because anytime you start one chop, you're gonna get 5 more, 1 more times from us, and your chest is gonna be bleeding.
Oh my God! You know, like chop wise, Malico, wherever he ran off to, that dude has some horrible chops. Oh my God! He came up with this one where he actually just starts welling you with chops, and it's oh man, that shit hurts. Yeah.
You know, the first time I saw him, he cut a kid's balloon out of his hand. That kid's heart was broken
He
that day.
popped one too.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does that all the time.
Pop! Whoa!
And I think he'll sell it to him and pop it. I don't know. Like, surely he's not that crooked.
It's $5 a balloon.
Yeah, surely he's not that crooked. But you know, he's such a creative dude. Definitely one of the bright and upcoming stars, not just of the IWR, but in wrestling as well. You know, he wrestled Brodus Clay like a year into his career. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole gimmick, man, it's great.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's very impressive every time.
Yeah. If you
Two
guys
times we saw him.
if you haven't ever watched his promo work, oh my goodness, he's a great promo.
He was in the Battle Royal at Oklahoma, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he's also in one tonight too for the Golden Ticket. I think it is.
Golden Ticket, a chance for him to get your title shot.
I think it's just like Money in the Bank or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some good people here tonight. I think the show's going to be really good. It's definitely going to be hard to beat my match, but
Yeah.
that's why I told them, I asked them, where am I at on the card? And they're like, co-main event. And I'm like, well, who's following me? And they told me, I'm like, oh my God, I feel sorry for those guys. Because, you know, it's like, some people go out, especially now, you know, like with the Ring of Honor style, you know, there's not as much crowd involvement per se for a lot of it. There's not as much character in the match, you know. But like me, I'm way better entertaining than I am wrestling. So it's like, you know, whenever I go out there, I demand a response from people, and I will mess with you until I get one. You know, so you might as well just give it to me from the get-go so I don't have to work so hard.
Oh, yeah. Well, man, like I said, appreciate having you on.
Oh, anytime, guys. Pleasure.
Some more IWR in the future.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll be in Pauls Valley November the 19th if you guys want to come down for that.
Reynolds Center, isn't it?
Hell yeah. That place is nice, man. Yeah.
That might be a good birthday treat.
We get to, anytime you guys want to go, just let me know. And then, we usually play basketball and stuff. Like, that's what cracks me up about wrestlers is most of them are horrible athletes. It blows my mind, you know. We were in Duncan I asked Ricky Starks, hey man, you want to play basketball? Like, no, I don't do that. I'm like, man, what is wrong with you wrestlers? You know, is that all y'all did when y'all were kids? You know.
Oh man, that's great.
So that's usually a very horrible experience. Every time we have an IWR basketball game, they're really bad, most of them, and there's a lot of fouling naturally because it's wrestlers.
Might as well just play street ball.
Might as well.
Yeah, I mean you basically have to.
No fouls.
Some of them can't even dribble. So. It's scary.
You're a grown man.
It's okay when
not dribbling
LeBron goes up to the
basketball.
basket, he takes 7 steps. So,
I mean, we're not athletes by no means. We're all fucking fat.
but I can dribble a basketball.
You dribble your man titties every day. So do I as well. But
Good stuff. Good stuff.
yeah, man, we'll definitely be down there. Duncan. Falls Valley, Oklahoma,
Valley.
November 19th. IWR. Vengeance, right?
Nah, Vengeance was Duncan. This one's Road to Perdition. Yeah, I'm thinking, what is the title of this one? But no, it's going to be a good show, just like usual. Andy Dalton will be there. So, you know, all of our usual cast.
Yep, usual cast. Always good show.
Yep, and then we hit on to Toys for Tots. So hope to see you guys at both those. Toys for Tots will definitely be. We got a lot of good stuff planned for that.
We'll definitely be there.
Oh yeah, we love wrestling.
We like to travel. We like to do this shit. It's fun.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's nothing like professional wrestling. I mean, there's just not.
There's nothing like it.
And people that don't understand that, you're just fucking stupid.
You don't like wrestling? Fuck you.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Hopefully there's no kids listening to this. Your wife's at home with your 3 kids. Daddy's working right now, but you want to listen to what he's saying?
Kids, don't repeat that foul language. It was just simply to get a point across.
Don't tell your teacher you're going to hit him with a floppy wiener.
Yeah, no foul language. Don't talk about floppy wieners. Everything will be okay.
All right, yeah. Well, unfortunately, we have to... I want to just do the damn podcast with him for the next 2 goddamn hours.
Well, fucking right. I'm not going to do anything except eat a bunch of Buffalo Wild Wings anyways.
I got better stories.
We can cover WWE, TNA, whatever you guys want to talk about.
Is there anything to talk about when it comes to TNA?
Well, I guess the big thing is, are they going to stay in business or whatever? I guess they're in court, right?
Yeah, well, WWE purchased, and then Corgan was like, no, I'm suing you back, so I don't know what's going on.
Well, I heard that... I had spoke to one of them, which I'm not going to say who, but, you know, the general consensus is they want TNA to stay in business and they want Billy Corgan to be in charge, not Dixie. And you know, just people don't say very many positive things about Dixie Carter. I've never met her personally, so I don't have any personal opinion on her, but, you know, a lot of the people that work for me that are good people, you know, none of them say anything nice, so that should tell you something. And I think Billy Corgan kind of breathes some fresh air into that product, but... Man, at a certain point, I'm just not sure how many times TNA can piss people off and they'll come back.
Well, here's my thing is that you don't do anything outside of the Impact Zone. You do no live shows.
And when they do, they're colossal disasters. You know, that I think that TNA draws like maybe 50 people to 150.
Well, all their tickets are comped, from what I heard.
Free, everything's free.
Tickets are comped.
Yeah, they.
And like my thing is like if they're comps, you know they're not selling T-shirts. I mean, how the fuck are you making any money?
And what's sad is they have such great talent. You know, well, you know, I think really it was a tax write-off for Dixie's dad. That's probably what it was. Like, hey, we're getting tired of you living in our house, so how much money do you need? Just go do some shit and get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, you want to do what? You want to be in wrestling? Okay, whatever. It's a tax write-off.
I don't know, man. It's been a dying product. It's like watching a person at a certain age, and you're just like, it's time for you to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, Ring of Honor has probably become number 2 at this point, and it's sad because
it's like watching a slow motion car crash.
It is, yeah, and it's just like I don't know. They just blow everything they have that's potentially good. And then they came up with I don't watch it that much. I don't even know what it's called, so y'all have to correct me. They came up with this new title.
TV channel they're on.
They're on Pop TV, which used to be like the TV Guide channel.
Oh, that's what it used to be.
Yeah, it used to be TV Guide channel, and they came up with this new title. It's ugly. I want to say Damian Sandow had it.
Yes, it's the MMA one type.
Yeah, this is like the craziest shit I've ever seen. Well, no, there's been way worse, but. That like, what is the deal? Like, there's 3 rounds, and there's judges that judge a wrestling match, and I'm thinking, what in the hell?
It's better than Bobby Lashley holding all 3 titles, including the X Division title. What was that about?
Well, here's the point: no one gives a shit because no one watches it.
The only thing that I really watch it for is Broken Matt and Brother Nero.
Brother Nero.
Brother Nero.
Man, that stuff is ingenious, man. That is ingenious, and that is cool how they've kind of just let him like take it and run with it.
Yeah, that was cool. I mean, the final deletion happened about 3 weeks before Oaklemania.
Yeah,
So
it's like it couldn't
hot.
be any better, And then it's funny because they sit there and did that signing at Oaklecon, and then. Matt comes out by himself, and then all of a sudden here comes Jeff, and he's like, Brother Nero, I knew you'd come. Like, yeah, you just did a signing with him.
That was great.
Yeah, it really was. I think Ring of Honor's doing really well right now, though, and that's exciting to see.
Yeah, they're
not
doing
necessarily my favorite product, really. I mean, I like a lot of the talent, but like me, I'm more entertainment-based wrestling-wise, Like, I remember the first time I watched Ring of Honor, I thought, what the fuck is this? Like I watched like an hour, and I thought, man, it's like an hour of just like good wrestlers.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I can do this for an hour instead of watching a fucking 3-hour Monday Night Raw.
You know what I'm saying? There's no promos, no anything. And with me being more entertainment based, like it's just hard for me to watch some. But Jay Lethal does really good on there. The Young Bucks, Dalton Castle.
Yeah, they have a herd of talent.
Oh, they do, and it's getting really good. I think probably though my second favorite promotion is Lucha Underground. I really enjoy Lucha just because it's so different.
Yeah. And they're starting to run live shows now.
Yeah, I think they were in Texas somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, they were.
I read they're starting to broadcast in Germany as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, because they got back on Turner Networks or something.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Turner's back in the wrestling business.
Lucha Underground.
I mean, if
Mexican
you're going to
soap
get back in
operas.
the wrestling business, Lucha Underground's a good thing to have in your pocket.
It is. I just wonder. I heard that they're having a hard time like making their money work. I don't know about now, but that was a problem because of their production values, which is what makes the show so different. It's filmed completely different.
They do all their tapings, for like 6 months? They do seasons, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love the concept of seasons too. I think it's great because it allows, on our level, it allows these people to get out and work, other parts of the wrestling scene as well. Whereas, I think TNA in a sense would be better if it was offered in seasons.
Yeah.
Then maybe they could sit there and review those shows a lot longer and try to figure out what's going on.
Where did we make the mistake?
Because it's not the talent. Jesus, that's the second most talented wrestling company there is in the United States. Ring of Honor's got good workers, but name wise, TNA is sitting on tons of people.
Sitting on gold
My whole
mine.
thing is they don't do anything on social media really.
Yeah.
They don't really push anything till the start of the show, and you can't be that big and not do stuff like that.
Exactly.
Bound for Glory, you're expecting people to pay $60 to watch your pay-per-view when they can't even fucking watch you any other time because most people don't even have Pop TV or what the fuck it is.
Well, that's the same thing in Ardmore. We don't get Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who some of the guys were that we had for Oklahoma until I looked them up and watched them. I ordered one of the pay-per-views. I was like, well, I guess I better watch these guys. But I think we're in a period right now. WWE's doing well, I think, financially, but we're still needing that next breakout star to come. It's like, who has there been since Stone Cold? There's Cena, but to me, Cena isn't Stone Cold.
No.
Cena was this generation's Hogan. That's all it was. He was,
in a sense, but he didn't change the landscape of the business like Hogan did.
right. That's true. But
I think Cena definitely. I'm not knocking Cena at all. He's not my favorite dude to watch, but I'm not knocking him for what he's done because you think about the longevity of what Cena's done. None of the other guys that were on top, like Stone Cold, Hogan, none of them went consistently as long as Cena did as the guy.
Yeah.
So I definitely respect him for that. But, a lot of that, too, times have changed so much just in wrestling in general. There's so many more platforms to watch things on and so many different things.
Yeah.
It's not the conventional TV days.
Yeah. It's actually enjoyable. You actually have talent, and they use that talent pretty much the right way sometimes, I would say. But, I don't really watch a whole lot of WWE.
Really?
Not really, man. I love doing...
I watch SmackDown.
I'll watch an occasional SmackDown, but I love doing what we do with the indie or the rest of the local wrestling scene, the non-three-letter company shit, basically. Outside of WWE, TNA. I love watching those guys because it's talent, and they're not making tons of money to do it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a more personable experience for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely with the fans, like you bringing your daughter and stuff, for kids, way more personal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
One thing I hate about WWE is it gets to the point now, especially with the fans trying to hijack everything like they do now. And geez, some of the fans think they're more important than the wrestlers. But you go to these shows and if you take your kid or whatever, your kid can't even see because everybody there has signs and and they're rude about it. It's like, hey, can you put your sign down so my 10-year-old can see, please?
It's like, what pay-per-view was it when the Finn Balor and Seth Rollins had for the new Universal title belt? That match was really good, but the crowd was trying to hijack.
Well, they did.
Well, they hijacked the match by chanting stupid chants about the title, and they weren't respecting the people in the ring wrestling for it. So
I'm just not a fan of it. I know a lot of people in the business aren't fans of it either. It's great that the fans go because that's what enables us to do what we do, but be respectful. Be respectful of the people who are out there doing that for you.
Well, that's one thing Vince will never give two shits about the fans. I think, but I mean, that's just my whole. I don't know. Just never been. I don't think he does what's best for the fans. He does what's best for Vince. I mean,
It's what's best for business.
what's best for
I think he
business.
just has some very distorted views.
Yeah.
I don't think necessarily he does anything to spite us, because he needs like the money from people. But I think that he just has a very distorted view on certain things. 'Cause,
Yeah.
it's like he brings people in, and it's like one of the deals whenever WCW died. Everybody that came in, like he punished them like he was their dad.
Yeah.
Like
You're fired. You're grounded. And be mopping the floors.
come here, Booker T. We're gonna give you some spankings and make you do about 15,000 jobs before we put you back where you should be. And like when they got Goldberg the first time, I mean that was horrible. The way they handled Goldberg. I'm not a big Goldberg guy either, but
What do you think about him coming back? Just like
I was shocked. Really, I was shocked that the fans were so receptive of him. I'm sitting there thinking, geez, I mean, when was the last time he was on there? I think it was like 10 years,
10
wasn't
years
it?
ago.
Yeah.
I was thinking, man, like a lot of the crowd now are families with kids, and I'm sitting there thinking, man, these kids know who that is. Like
Yeah.
it was pretty impressive, I thought, honestly. I mean,
Really?
I hope this match is better than WrestleMania 20.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Everybody does.
I don't
that-
want to see a repeat, that's for sure.
Well,
Oh
if they're
my
going to do
God.
it, at least do it at Survivor Series so we don't have to see it at WrestleMania.
I was shocked too that they're doing it at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
I guess this is one and done for him since he came out and said Lesnar was the last. Or
I think he
whatever.
just basically said that he wants to do one more match for his son so his son can see him in the ring. But here's my thing. If you haven't been in the ring in 10 years and you actively pretty much said he hasn't been active.
And
why
he
the-
wasn't
why
a
the
good
fuck-
wrestler when he
Yeah.
was active.
Doesn't take you a little bit longer than a fucking month, which
And
we're
then-
down to 20 days now almost.
Where's Survivor Series? Somebody said it was in Toronto. Is that true?
No,
That's
NXT's in Toronto. Mickey James.
Yeah, Mickey James. That's wonderful that she's getting a chance
Oh,
to
yeah,
go back
oh, yeah.
there. My God, she
It
still
was-
looks so good in such
yeah.
good shape to
Oh,
go
yeah.
back and work with those girls.
She is she's doing shows every weekend, it seems like.
She's such a good woman. My goodness, such a good woman. But yeah, somebody told me like Survivor Series was in Toronto or something. But you're right, it's NXT. And I was thinking, oh, well, what a dumb move. I'm like, man, if Survivor Series is in Toronto, there's no way they're going to like Goldberg
Yeah.
since he ended Bret Hart.
Terrible idea.
Yeah.
Do it in Montreal.
Oh my God. Yeah. I guess Vince is trying to get Goldberg over as the face and Lesnar as the heel or something.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I mean, I heard there's speculations that Goldberg could be going into the Hall of Fame this year.
I did hear that, yeah.
So
Man.
that would make sense for him to be one
Man.
and done, but
That guy gets in there before some other people.
that's how I felt I've felt about a couple of things.
I don't know though. I mean, people talk about the WWE Hall of Fame, and I mean, how legit it really is, how people get in there, and
You suck a lot of dick, that's how you get in. And maybe you won't have to suck a dick one time and you'll get
you
in.
definitely have to say you're sorry to get in. I bet for some of these people.
Oh, yeah.
I bet Ultimate Warrior had to apologize profusely. There's probably a lot of apologizing from both of them.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they figure all that out. But you look at some of these people and you think, how are these people not in there?
Yeah.
And then somebody like Goldberg gets in.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he was hot, but for how long, really? I mean, a
His
couple of years,
undefeated
maybe.
streak.
Yeah, I mean,
the
what you
90s.
did and that's my thing is, are you going to put him in this year after you just put in Sting last year when you basically bragged about WCW? I don't see it happening yet. That was the other cool thing about seeing Sting in Oaklamania was 3 months prior to that he was in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. The timing on that was really good too. We really luck out sometimes. Like whenever we had the Dudleys at Rise of the Revolution, they had just showed up on Raw that Monday and then did our show that Saturday. I'm like, man, sometimes we really luck out.
What do you think about how they used the Dudleys when they came back?
Thought it was good at first, and then it's just like I don't know.
I didn't like how they went out when they
Yeah.
retired. I was like, that's stupid.
Yeah, I think they deserve more. I don't understand about. I don't understand like why they didn't give them like the breaking title.
Yeah.
Like
Give him like a 3-month title reign. End it. But I don't think
What of
they're
all
done.
people, like the shining stars? Like, that don't make no sense to me. But.
Well, there's a lot of shit in the wrestling industry that just don't make fucking sense, all right?
I mean,
right?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the New Day, but I would have rather seen a Dudley's title reign than the New Day.
I don't see what it would have hurt. I mean, I think that it's important in general to pay homage and respect, what's made the business. And as far as tag teams, the Dudleys are
Most
right there at the
decorated
top.
tag team.
And I really thought they were going to get that one run, like, I don't know. I mean, definitely not my call to make, and it's hard to sit here and criticize WWE because obviously they've done something right. They've separated themselves from everybody, and nobody will ever catch them unless they do something catastrophic to themselves.
And it probably won't be in our lifetime.
Probably
Or the
not.
next.
Or the next. Well, by then, who knows what the fuck could happen.
I think it'll be really interesting one day whenever Vince does eventually pass on, if he ever is actually going to die. He might not.
Probably not.
I think he has enough money to figure out the secret to life.
It might, yeah, it might not be in the cards for Vince to ever die, but unfortunately, if he ever does, then I think it'll be really interesting to see who is next in line. I think Triple H would be really good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Look what he's done with NXT.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus, he's took NXT, which was just a throwaway show for them, and now it's like their hottest program.
Yeah.
You know, people like NXT more than they like watching Raw.
I do enjoy some NXT.
I do enjoy some NXT.
Did you guys go to the one they did in Oklahoma City?
Nope.
Oh, my God. It was such a good show. I think the main event, it was Shinsuke and Balor versus Ty Dillinger and Samoa Joe. And, man, it was good. Like Tyler Breeze came back on there. And, you know, that's like another one. It's like they take them from NXT and they move them to the main roster and just job them. You're like, I was so excited to see Tyler Breeze show up on there and that he's like job master. Like how he's like Dolph Ziggler 2.0.
Well, who else we got? Forgot brain fart. Can't remember what I was fucking
Brain farted.
Man, we appreciate you having you on here. I'd rather do this with you, but we still got to bring like 4 more guys
we're
on.
good, guys. Like I said,
We're
anytime,
gonna do
man.
this again. We're gonna do it over beers. So.
Hell yes, hell yes.
So,
Yeah, we just got to watch this guy. We can't be paying for no ambulance rides.
oh man, no, it was funny because
You got to watch Malico too. Like about a month ago or so. Like, man, he had to sleep in my bathtub. That was weird. You got to watch.
That's where Tim was going, but we couldn't get him out of the truck.
This is the sad part. I woke up naked in blood and in a hospital. Like, I had blood on my chest. I didn't know where I was at. At first, I thought these guys were playing a joke on me because they were talking about haunted house before.
Oh, Kate's Asylum or whatever.
Yeah, so I thought, and then
Is this a show? What is going on?
and then they're like, your friends will be here in a little bit to pick you up from where?
there's some weird, sick fantasy that you have in your head of. I don't even fucking know what goes on in your head.
Good times.
Good times.
Wrestling is full of such good times.
Oh yeah, but yeah. The funny thing was, we were on the east side of the building when you parked last night.
Yeah.
And you could literally hear me screaming at this jackass, "Get the fuck out!" Like, all you got to do is get out, and we'll carry your fat ass upstairs and put you to bed. And it went on for like an hour. I almost packed a fucking whole pack of cigarettes, and just like, this motherfucker. Like,
Tim did manage to squeeze off one middle finger.
I'm like,
that was
get the
it.
fuck out, and all I see is this. I'm like, so we proceeded to start slapping him in the face, and that didn't work.
Should have like curb stomped him or
I almost got
something.
a super kick, apparently.
Well, I tried to super kick you, but I'm fucking fat.
It ended up being like a gut kick or something.
I can't get my leg up that high.
You would have got vomit on your flip flop.
Yeah, the paramedic shows up and he's like, "Please do not throw up on me."
He told me that. He came by to check him. He's like, I appreciate you not throwing up on me, brother.
Oh man,
I'm glad you're okay, man. I'm glad you're okay.
Fun ride.
fun ride.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. Like I said,
man,
you guys are
thank
welcome
you.
IWR anytime.
We'll
So
definitely be down there November 19th.
excellent.
Falls Valley, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Do
sir.
it, brother.
Thank
We
you
appreciate
guys.
it, man.
Man, my pleasure. My pleasure.